Here is our first example for division of fractions. So let us divide 1/2 by 1/4, or 1/2 divided by 1/4. So what we will do is we will copy the first fraction, the dividend. Let's have 1/2. And then what we'll do is we will change the operation into multiplication. And the divisor is, we will find its reciprocal and write it down. So reciprocal means it is the opposite. Like for example, 1/4, we will interchange the denominator and the numerator. So the denominator now becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. In short, it will become 4/1 or 4/1. So that's the reciprocal of 1/4. So now let us do the multiplication the same way as we did it last week. So we will multiply both the numerator and then the denominator. So let's look at first, if we cross multiply, can we write them down into the lowest form? So for example, 1 and 1, it stays the same. 2 and 4, so we can still find numbers to make it lower. So 2 and 4 can both be divided by 2. So let's try. 2 divided by 2, cancel, it will become 1. And then 4 will become 2. So we will now find its answer. Equals 1 times 2 equals 2/1. Or in short, since 1 is the denominator now, 2/1 equals 2. Or the whole number 2. Therefore, we can say that 1/2 divided by 1/4 equals 2. Okay, so let's have another example. Let's have 3/4 divided by 1/6 equals n, where n represents the number that we are solving for. So let's just copy the dividend 3/4. So let's have here 3/4, and then change the operation to the opposite of division, which is multiplication. And then the divisor, we will find its reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/6 is 6/1. In short, by luon ra na silang duha ka number. So 6/1. And then let's try if the numbers across one another can still be in their lowest form. So 3 and 1 cannot be since it is already 1. But 4 and 6 can still be. So both numbers can be divided by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So let's cancel 4 and write 2. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. Cancel 6, write 3. But if you find difficulty in doing this one, you can just multiply directly. For example, you can just multiply 3 times 6 and 4 times 1. But if you know how to write numbers in their lowest form, you also can do this. So 3 times 3 equals 9 over 2 times 1 equals 2. Now, since this is an improper fraction, meaning the numerator is greater than the denominator, we need to change it to a proper fraction in its lowest term. So let's divide. 9 divided by 2 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. And then 9 minus 8 equals 1. It's the numerator. Over, copy the denominator, 2. Therefore, the final answer is 4 and 1/2. Now, let's try to do the different scenario. What if we will not cancel this one? Will the answer be still the same? So let's try. Imagine 3 times 6 equals 18. And then 4 times 1 equals 4. So 18 divided by 4 equals 4. 4 times 4 equals 16. And 18 minus 16 is 2. So let's write here 4 and then 2 over 4. Now, it is not yet in the lowest form, so you will still change it to copy the whole number. And then 2 and 4 can both be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 equals 1. And 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So the answer is still the same. So actually this one is the easiest part because you just multiply small numbers. Okay, let's have another example using mixed numbers. So 12 and 2/3 divided by 2 and 3/4 equals n. So first step, as always, when we do mixed numbers, we will change them to improper fraction. So let's have 3 times 12 equals 36 plus 2 equals 38. So you write 38 as the numerator and then copy the denominator and then divide since we are still changing them to improper fraction. So let's have 4 times 2 equals 8 plus 3 equals 11 over 4 equals n. And now let's do the multiplication. So let's have 38 divided by 3 times and then reciprocal 4/11 and then equals, since these numbers are already in their lowest forms, we just multiply them directly. So 38 times 4 equals 152 over 3 times 11 equals 33. Now this is an improper fraction. So we need to change it to its lowest form. So 152 divided by 33 equals 4. And then 4 times 33. So it's quite a large number. So we will multiply this one. 4 times 33, that's 12. Okay, that's 132. So 152 minus 132 equals 20 over 33. So both these numbers cannot be divided in a number anymore. So they are already in their lowest term. So the final answer here is 4 and 20 over 33. Let's have another example. Let's have a whole number divided by a fraction. So we have 2 divided by 3/7 equals n. So since this is a whole number, we will just copy it immediately. So 2, and then change the operation into multiplication and find the reciprocal of the divisor. So 3/7 becomes 7 over 3. So this is just the same formula, the same steps as we did earlier. So since this is a whole number, automatically this becomes the numerator. So 2 times 7 equals 14 over 3. Since there is no denominator, you just put 3 and then change it into lowest term. So 14 divided by 3 equals 4. 4 times 3 equals 12. And 14 minus 12 equals 2 over 3. And this is already in its lowest term. So the final answer is 4 and 2/3. Let's have our final example. So we will divide a mixed number to a fraction. So 3 and 5/8 divided by 8 over 9 equals n. So since this is a mixed number, we will first change this to an improper fraction. So we have 8 times 3 equals 24 plus 5 equals 29. So we have 29 and then copy the denominator 8 and then multiply. Change this to its reciprocal, which is 9 over 8. And then multiply. So we have 29 times 9 equals 261. over 8 times 8 equals 64. So this is quite a huge number and an improper fraction. So we will change it to the lowest term. So 261 divided by 64 equals 4. And then 4 times 64 equals 256. So 261 minus 256 equals 5 over 64. Now, obviously, both numbers cannot be divided by any number anymore. So, like 64 cannot be divided by 5. So, since it is not divisible by 5, therefore, we can say that 4 and 5 over 64 is the final answer.